All right, live stream should be starting here. There we go. All right, I'm going to jump right into it. I'm not going to waste any time today because as soon as I finish this, I got to jump over to a birthday party for our little man, Cullen. That is my BFF. You guys all know Allie. That's been on our team, been my best friend since the very beginning. He is turning 6, so we're gonna go to his birthday party today. Thank you guys for joining me today. Our Moneymaker meeting normally takes place at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesdays. Today we moved it forward to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're jumping on the replay or you're looking for it at 1 p.m., I do apologize. We did start this at 11 a.m. And here we are. But don't fret, this is going to be a good one because what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do something that most people are not willing to do. I'm going to break down the financials of my company today. This is going to be very vulnerable. I'm a little nervous about this. I actually asked my team members, should I really be doing this? Should I really share some of this information? I'm a little leery to share some of this, but what the fuck? Why not? Right? Why not? Why not share it? What do I have to lose by being transparent? What do I have to lose? So what I'm going to ask you guys to do first is I would love to see some of you turn your cameras on. I would love to see some of you engaged with me so I can see your faces. I'm going to be very vulnerable with you guys today. I'm going to be sharing some of my real information. I'm going to be sharing my financials. I'm going to be sharing where we spend our money. I'm going to be sharing how much I pay myself out of my company. I'm going to be sharing my payroll data. I'm going to be sharing what my profit margins were. And to me, that's really vulnerable. So I'm going to ask you to be on camera because if I'm going to share all my deep, dark secrets about my company, I at least want to have you present and visible and here with me. Deal? Is that too much to ask today? That's too
My
much to ask?
webcam's not working.
Oh, that's okay. That's all right. If your webcam isn't working or you're naked in the shower, if you're driving, I'll take that excuse. I'll take that as an excuse. But for those of you who can be on camera today, I would greatly appreciate it. It makes me feel like we're here, we're hanging out. For those of you who were impacted by this storm this last week during Christmas and you are safe, you have power, I'm so thankful to see you here. I am here in Buffalo. We were greatly impacted. And man, I'm still very emotional. I'm still reeling, having a little PTSD from the whole thing. It's one thing to see natural disaster on the television. It's another thing to have it happening here and seeing people so heavily impacted right in your hometown without power, freezing. And it was such an incredible storm. We had never seen anything like this in Buffalo history. And so we're the lucky ones. Where I am, we were without power for 24 hours. Our house did get down to about 51 degrees, and man, I was nervous. Luckily, when I saw National Grid trucks out front of my house, and I just started sobbing. I was like, thank you, baby Jesus. I was so happy to see those National Grid trucks when they finally did arrive. The worst part was that they couldn't send out National Grid. They couldn't send out emergency vehicles because there was no visibility. There was no one plowing the roads. The hurricane winds going for 36 hours. There was just absolutely no ability to actually send National Grid out to restore power. And so that was the biggest problem for many of us. It was awful. But here we are, happy to be with you guys today. So let's just jump right into this. Number one, I wanted to share with you guys that officially, I started my coaching business. So I had a successful accounting business, nowhere near as successful as my coaching business. I didn't stay at it as long. Could my accounting company be as successful as my coaching business? Absolutely, if it's what I wanted to do, right? But it wasn't what I wanted to do. I think what's so important to talk about is, um, you know, ultimately, I think people need to follow their heart in order to be as successful as they want to be. I followed my heart. Could I have had a successful firm if it's what I wanted to do? Yes. But I fell in love with marketing. Man, when I discovered marketing, I was like, this is my jam. This is what I was meant to do. I loved it. I just loved it. And it was so easy for me to market myself. And so I knew this is where I was meant to be. I knew this was my space. And I kept moving in that direction. And I found myself marketing my accounting business, my outsourced CFO business with ease and flow. And I was talking about marketing, and I was talking about money making, and I was talking about and I also love economics. I love talking about money. I love talking about money mindset. And so that felt really easy. And so there was these different elements. But what I found myself doing is I found myself talking less and less and less about accounting, finance. And the reality was accounting, finance, taxes, those were never anything I was ever in love with. I went into that space because I thought it was a safe, practical space for me to be in when I was a teenager, right? I got my first accounting job when I was 18. I went into that space in college because it seemed practical. It felt like something I could get a job in. I shared last week, I was very vulnerable. I shared that I was actually an award-winning artist in high school. So finding marketing where I could create graphics, and I'm going to tell you guys, I'm probably one of the better graphic designers on my team. I create a lot of our graphics. I fix a lot of our graphic design. I'm usually the one that's heading up all of the design projects. I create a lot of our stickers. A lot of our design elements are usually spearheaded by me because I'm the one with the artistic side. That's my space. I love being creative. And so marketing for me was finally I'm in my element. So all that to say, it is no doubt, it's not surprising to me that my coaching company has grown significantly faster than my accounting business did, right? So first question for you is, if you want to grow a business as quickly as I've been able to grow this coaching business, are you in the space that you feel aligned, that you feel in flow, that you feel so fucking happy that it's just like, I want to wake up every day and work, and I want to work hard, and I can't wait to get back to work. In fact, I'm on Christmas break right now with my kids, and I love being on break. I'm really enjoying it. But for this, I got my kids ready. We're gonna go to we're going to go to Cully's birthday party today. I'm excited to do that. I'm going to take them to see a movie this week. We're going to go see the new Avatar movie. And yes, I love doing those things, but I'm also excited to get back to work next week. I can't wait. There's some projects we're working on. I can't wait to get back into it. I'm rebuilding a new funnel right now, and I can't wait to get into the design element. I can't wait to do the copywriting for it. I'm excited to do that. I can't wait to get back to work, right? And so are you in flow? Are you in your space that you're just like, I love what I do. I love what I do. And yes, there's elements of what I do that I do not like doing. There are parts of our company that it's like, do not ever make me touch that. I don't like this part of the company. There are 1000% pieces of that it's like, for example, customer service. Don't make me get in our customer service email, because I will respond like, wah, stop being a baby. Cut it out. Right? I'm being fully transparent. Don't get me in the customer service email. I am not going to be kind and responsive and be like, okay, that sounds like a simple problem. I will be like, did you Google that shit first before you email? I'm not your girl to do customer service, right? That's not me. That's not me. So, but that's okay because then I just hire those things, right? I'll just outsource that. All right, who's my non-customer service people? You cannot deal, right? It's okay that you guys have those questions. I'm just like, are you seriously whining about this? Like, are you seriously whining about the free thing that you opted in for and it didn't have the thing that you thought it was going to? Oh, you honey, you can pay for this then, right? Right? I cannot do it. I cannot do it. Like, if you want that, pay for my program then, please. Okay? All right? Yeah. It's not me. It's not me. I cannot do it. I have no patience for the customer service. I'm like, or the people who complain about my emails, they'll just be like, can you emailed me too often? It's like, go find the unsubscribe button then, please, right? It's like, don't send them to me. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it, right? So close my eyes. So all that to say, 2022 was a record-breaking year for us. We collected over $1 million in cash, $1,056,000 in cash. Was an incredible year. It came with it happened to be a year that it felt like the easiest year ever to make money, while simultaneously being the year with the most heartbreak, if this makes sense. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. And I talked about this. Okay, so let me back up. Let me back up for this. All right, so let me talk about making $1 million in cash. Let me talk about this. So number one, the first thing about making $1 million in cash, this is the first year I've done this. I've done $1 million. We did $1 million in sales last year. We didn't do $1 million in cash last year. It being a first year, I have always said I was going to do this. I'll never forget in about 2018, I think that's the first year I ever said, I looked at my husband and I was like, I think I can do $1 million. I think I can do $1 million. And he was like, okay, sure. And so this is the first year that we actually did it, right? Number one, the first thing I want to say about doing actually making $1 million in a year. Number one, it didn't feel like that big of a deal. Like, that's the first thing I want to say about it. It felt like, oh, it happened. And it was such a fleeting moment. Like, it was like, it happened on a random Monday and it was like, okay, like, cool. Like, I was like making cookies with my kids and I was like, and I think Alexis told me, we were all on Zoom. Like, we talk all the time on video. And I was just like, we did it today. It was like, we hit, I think with as much cash that came in that day, it was probably like $8,000 or something that came in that day. And it was like, we hit 1,000,004. It was like 1,004,000. And I was like, okay, cool. And then like, it kind of sunk in and I kind of felt a little more emotional about it. Like, wow, we finally did it. But what was more emotional about it? And if you weren't on my Zoom call last week, go watch it because I really, really break into this. And I got more emotional about it. And I actually did a vlog on my phone to keep for the future. And it's just private, it's just for me. But I'll tell you a little bit about it, where I kind of broke down how, and just for like short synopsis, just like the feeling of the fact that I thought it was such a big deal. I thought it was going to be such a big deal, and how I thought it defined me in such a way. Like, when I make $1 million, I'm going to. And the reality is that I was always more than enough. I was always more than enough. I'm going to cry again. Every time I talk about this, it makes me so emotional. That I thought that when I make $1 million, I'm going to be enough too. When I make $1 million, I'm going to, that I'm going to be, some people are going to appreciate me more. People are going to take me more seriously, that I'm going to be this version of myself. When I make $1 million in 1 year, that I'm going to be something better, that I'm going to be this new version of me. And the reality is that I needed to learn that I was enough and that I was good enough well before I made $1 million. And so I'm going to tell you guys, like, in order to make $1 million, in order to reach the goals you have for yourself, you have to decide. You have to decide very early on. You have to decide right now that you're enough as you are in order to make that money. And I think that's the real reason that we really ended up hitting that goal of making $1 million, because I decided I was enough to do it. At one point, and I shared this last week too, at one point, I didn't believe that I could even get on a stage until I made $1 million. I was like, I'll never be good enough to get on a stage until I make $1 million in my business. I mean, that's complete bullshit, right? And I got on a stage. My first stage appearance was in January of 2022. And we had done $1 million total in cash in the company at that point, but I hadn't done $1 million fiscally yet. And so it's like, that's kind of like I blew that out of the water, and I decided at that point I was good enough, right? But I needed to decide that in order to be here. So it's like deciding that you are good enough to make the type of money you want to make before you actually make it, becoming the version of yourself in order to get the goal, right? It's the be, do, have mentality. Be the person you want to be, do the things the person does, and then only then will you have what the person has, right? And that applies here. It applies so much here. So I really stepped into leadership this year and being the leader, doing what the leader does, and then I have that $1 million company. And it feels like I'm just getting started also, right? Like $1 million was always the goal, but gosh, it just feels like we're just getting started. This feels like the beginning, honestly. So started the coaching business in 2019, right? So I want to talk about this. Started the coaching business in 2019. 2019, I can't remember exact numbers. 2019, 2020, 2021. So here we are 4 years in the coaching business, and we hit our first $1 million cash year, $1,056,000, right? And so I'm going to break down some numbers for you. Let me grab them, because that's what you guys are really here for, right? So good, bad, ugly. Let's talk about that first while I pull up these numbers. Good things that happened. We had 2 really successful events this year. Those were part of our strategy that helped us reach that goal. Both of our events pulled in around $270,000 to $280,000 worth of revenue. Keep in mind, both of those events cost us roughly $60,000 each, but both had a great return in investment. Most people believe that when you do live events, you're not going to be profitable on the first event. Clearly, we were very profitable on both events. Events for us were a long game strategy, though. So you have to think we were just getting started in our event process. Like for us, our first 2 events, we're just getting started. We're just starting to invest in them. And so it almost feels a little bit like, okay, we're investing in these first 2 events. We do it our first year. We put $60K in. We're hoping to keep our investment around $60K and double, triple the revenue that comes out. So hopefully 3rd event, we're going to put in $60K again, and bring out 500. 4th event, put in $60K again, bring out $1 million. So you have to think this year isn't probably our best year, but it's our learning year, right? It's our reinvesting year. So we have low profit margins technically on these events. So that was a really great thing, a really great success for us. The fact that we were profitable at all in our first 2 live events. Most people don't think you could even be profitable at all your first events. your first live events. Most people don't think that you should do live events first. They think that you should do virtual events, test out virtual events, and then do live. We skipped virtual events altogether. We ended up doing virtual for our second one, which was a really successful. Who was at our event? Who did live? Who did virtual? And Moneymaker Live is coming up again. It's going to be in April. So if you want to make sure you get a ticket to that as well. That's going to be in April. Our live events are really incredible, really awesome transformation as well. So the transformation is really what we were looking to create. And so it's not just about it being a profitable event or like a financial success. The transformation, the community was really what we're looking to create there. And that was successful. Other amazing successes. We finally got our mastermind down. I've had a mastermind in the making for 4 years. Most people want to build an offer. They want to build an offer, you guys. And I'm going to, I want to talk about this. Most people try to build an offer and they're like, they're like, oh, they think the offer is going to be perfect as soon as they pull it out, right? They're like, oh, I want to build an offer and it's going to be perfect immediately. My offer has been 4 years in the making. I have tried so many different things and I have continued to see what works and see what works and see what doesn't work and pull out pieces that don't work and put in things that do work. And our mastermind is finally top of the tier, one of the best things on the market. And we continue to just pour and pour and pour into it and invest into it and just make it so it's the category fucking king, queen out there. And I finally feel like I have the high ticket offer that is just killing it. But it's taken me a long time to figure that out, and really 4 years in the making. For those of you who have been around a long time, you've seen me do 6 weeks, 6 figures. That was like the initial phase of my mastermind. And then you saw me do level 7. Level 7 was what I thought was going to be the ultimate offer, and it didn't work. And so I transitioned this year out of level 7. And let me tell you why. Level 7 was a realization of a failure. I made level 7 a lifetime product. I stopped getting people results with level 7. And I'll tell you guys why. Lifetime killed my results because no one was taking action. They were buying it for lifetime, but then stopped taking action. I couldn't get people to do the work. And so it was a massive failure on my end. So I realized it wasn't going to work. So we went with Moneymaker Mastermind. We did a brand transition in Moneymaker Mastermind. I combined all my years of knowing what works, what doesn't work, and I built out Moneymaker Mastermind this year, and I hit the nail on the head. But it was 4 years in the making. 4 years of studying my clients, studying what hasn't worked. And so for me, what I want to say to you is it's okay if you try different things and they don't work, and you just keep going. And that's all this has been, is 4 years in the making of this didn't work. This didn't work. This worked. Okay. I saw success with this. Boot camp, 30-day Moneymaker boot camp. 30-day Moneymaker boot camp came about in, Allie, was that 2019 or 2020 that we created that? Really, I need Alexis because she's the one with the freaking memory. Allie and I have the same memory. We don't remember shit. 2020. It was early 2020. We built boot camp. And we came up with this concept of boot camp, and it came from this fitness boot camp that I did. And I thought, that's right. I thought, what if we did this marketing boot camp? We made marketing fun, and the girls loved it. And then when we did it, they loved it. They're like, we got to keep doing this. And I was like, no, we can't keep doing this. And I didn't want to. I didn't want to do it again. I was like, it was fun, but let's not do it again. And they're like, no, 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 Alyssa, people love it. People love it. And so they promised me if they did it again, they would make it so it didn't require a lot of my energy. And so they figured out how to automate it, right? And in boot camp became a loved product. How many of you guys have done boot camp, right? How many people love boot camp? So boot camp became basically it's our pilot, it's our product, right? Boot camp is now our introductory product. Now boot camp is almost like a requirement. If you haven't been in boot camp, we're like, where have you been? What are you doing? Like, who are you even? Like, how did you even come here if you haven't done boot camp? How do you even know who we are? So now 30-day moneymaker boot camp is really like, it's like a milestone. Like you basically are sent to boot camp to really be indoctrinated into our world. And that was a huge milestone this year, is making boot camp something that was almost like an indoctrination sequence into being in our space. It's huge success for us this year. So really building out our customer journey this year was huge for us. We didn't have that before. It was really just like hoping things would stick. And I'm saying this again because you guys, it took us 4 years to figure this shit out. 4 years in, we didn't have it figured out. We just kept trying and seeing what would work. And so we're 4 years in. We're 4 years in, and we didn't have it figured out. We've just literally, it's just been like speed and intensity and commitment and conviction and everything we did, hoping that shit would work. Like, let's see if this works. And sometimes it'd be like, this was a disaster. Let's never do this again, right? And sometimes things worked really well and we felt like they worked, but they didn't feel good to us, or we didn't love the type of clients that they brought in. So it's been good. Other failures I want to talk about. Contractors. We've had some contractors that just were complete fucking nightmares to work with. That we invested a lot of money into, and you have to decide, if you're working with somebody, you keep working and you keep waiting for things to pay off. This is coaches, this is contractors, this is employees, and you put sunk costs into things and you keep thinking like, well, eventually it's going to pan out. Eventually it's going to pan out. And you're waiting for this magic day when everything's going to suddenly work out. And sometimes it just doesn't fucking work out. And you just got to say, like, it's time to cut the cord, right? It's like a relationship where you're in this relationship and they promised you the world, right? They were like, listen, our lives are going to be magical together. Everything's going to be great. And they're like suave, everything's amazing. And you keep waiting for that day to come where everything's magic and butterflies and unicorns and fairies, and it never happens. And then you're like, but I'm already in 6 months. I'm already in 9 months. And so maybe it'll all come together. And they keep promising you, like, just give me another month. I'll make it up to you. I'll figure it out in just a little bit longer, right? But it never comes. It never comes to fruition. And you just got to pull the cord. It doesn't matter how much money you put in. It doesn't matter how much time you put in. It's just time to pull the plug. And that happened to us this year. I put $90,000 into a project that never, ever came to fruition. Never, ever worked out. 90 grand. And by the end of it, I was fucking crying and screaming like a broken woman who was at her like last straw with an abusive man. Like, that's literally what it felt like. And I was like, you keep making promises, you keep saying these things, and you keep gaslighting me, telling me that all these things are going to happen, and they don't. And they don't. And it was hard. It was so hard. And when I finally walked away, when I finally said no more, you guys, guess what happened? I found this other magical relationship, this other magic man, this other contractor who has literally changed our business. He has done exactly what he said he was going to do. He has helped us so much with everything that we needed, and it's been amazing. And so I beg you, instead of staying in the relationship you're in with somebody that isn't working out, walk away. It's called sunk cost. You learned a lesson. Now walk, right? I don't know who needs to hear this. Maybe there's one of you, maybe there's two of you. I know that somebody said it to me. They said it's called sunk cost, and sometimes it's just time to walk away. Clients too. Sometimes it's just time to walk away. And I was like, all right, it's time to walk away. And I have never looked back. I have never regretted it. And the irony is I've had to walk away from this man twice. 2 times he has promised me the world, and 2 times he has not delivered. Right? So, partnerships that have failed. I've had partnerships that have failed, that I thought were gonna change my business, and the reality is that didn't come through. That didn't come to fruition. And that was really hard this year, right? That was really hard. So I've had a lot of heartbreak and a lot of I had another contractor that we worked with that promised me a bunch of things and then threw like these crazy $20,000 invoices at me. And I was like, what is going on? This is crazy. And I ended up being like, I can't trust you because I don't even know what you're doing. And then you're sending me invoices that I wasn't expecting. And I'm so fucking confused. And it was like at convenient times, like when they found out I made a bunch of money and they were like, oh yeah, you owed me all this. And I was like, what? Like, this is not good. And then basically told me I was lucky. That's all it was. So those were interesting memories. So yeah, a lot of weird shit happened this year. But on the flip side, it was the easiest money I ever made. Like I didn't do barely any sales calls this year. Who's in our program and bought from Alexis? Like I didn't do any sales calls this year. Like barely am the one who sells anyone into our program. I really get to show up and do what I want to do. Like I love this. This is so fun. Right? Like this is my jam. I want to talk to you guys. I want to do my marketing. I want to build our funnels. Like I get to do what I want to do in the business. And that is what makes me so happy. So it's been the easiest year, one of the easiest years from that standpoint, but also a very emotional year. So it's kind of like, it's strange. Like I grew a lot. I grew a lot as a leader. I became a leader this year more than anything. And I think that's really what it takes. You want to grow your business? Become a leader. You got to lead your company more than you got to do anything else. Marketing's great. Sales is great. Knowing your craft is great. Knowing how to deliver to clients is great. You really want to grow your company. You got to be a leader. More than anything, I had to become a leader this year. And that's really what got us where we are. So let me break down numbers now for you guys. I promised I would do that. And then I got to go. All right. So what do you guys want to know? What do you want to know about numbers? I'm going to open up the chat. So first I'm going to start with some total cash collected. Let me start there. Total cash collected this year. Let me start with that was $1,056,622. And these are prelim numbers. Obviously, we're still 2 days out, and we don't know what's going to happen in the next 2 days. Who knows? We could collect another 10K if we wanted, another 25K if we wanted. I don't know what's going to happen. Our total sales this year. So this is all the sales that happened. So any new mastermind clients that we brought on, we had our book funnel and we had bootcamp and bootcamp plus. I can break down these actually for you. So total new sales from mastermind was $927,000. Our book funnel brought in about $8,500. Boot camp was about $130,000. Boot camp plus, that's our subscription. If you guys don't know about our subscription, I'm going to be talking about it more this year. It's our content subscription. So you don't ever have to worry about what to post. We pretty much just feed you the content. And that is about 18,000. Then we have Brianna has PayPal in here that was about $22,000. And so our total sales this year was 1.1 well 1.2 million, 1.1 million, 1.2 million ish. Which is awesome, an awesome ratio. So total cash I said was 1,056,000, right? 1,057,000, we'll round up. And then we have 1.1 million. So that ratio, like cash collected versus total sales, like that really says to me that we're really collecting our cash. Like people don't rely on a lot of payment plans, right? And that doesn't include our AR. So what people owe us, that's not including our AR. That's just like our sales for the year. Okay, so let me see. You guys want to know how much I took out of the business this year? Would that interest you guys? How much I paid myself? I was really reluctant to share this number with you guys. Yeah, you guys want to know? All right, so this is interesting because I like had this weird thought that like if I had $1 million company, I'd like be taking all this money out of the company, right? Like it'd all be mine. And that's like what you think. Like back in 2018, it's like I'm gonna make $1 million and I'm just gonna have like $1 million, right? No, not at all, right? So my total payroll that I paid myself this year was 119,000. That's what I ended up paying myself. On top of that, I took $85,000 out of the company. So I ended up taking about $205,000 out of the company this year, total, which I think is a pretty fair number. I reinvested a lot of our money this year, and I think that's pretty good. It's the highest I've ever paid myself actually out of the company. Last year, I think I was at like 140 I took out of the company. That's the most money I've ever paid myself. And I also pay my husband and I pay my mom as well. So we do pretty well, I guess, as far as those things go. And then my total payroll. Yeah, I'm sure that's more than every accountant made. It's the most money I've ever actually made for myself. It's the most money I've ever paid myself ever. And I hope to increase like every year a little bit, right? It's like you want to be conservative. I don't want to feel if I kept the same exact amount next year, maybe a little more, like maybe next year I'll make 300K, right? Like I'm reinvesting. Like here's my thought process on this, guys. I could walk around with like a fucking, like I could take a bunch of money out and have like a Louis Vuitton bag or whatever and like do whatever with it. Or like I see a lot of people that overextend themselves and like I live I have a very modest house. Like I don't have a brand new house. Like I don't have a lot of things. I have reinvested my money into our business so much because I think about the fact that we're still such a baby business that I'm not done growing. Like I'm not done expanding the company. Like, and so I actually put this in our total reinvestment in just marketing, coaches, and I don't know how this is all broken up. Shit, I don't know who's calling me right now. Who it is? I cannot answer. Can you guys hear this? Ringing? Do you hear the ringing? Or can you not even hear me? My mouth. Oh. Can you hear me now? Yeah, okay. I just feel like we're such a baby business, but it's well into 300,000 that we've reinvested in marketing. So this is like marketing, like ad spend, coaches, masterminds, me to go to events, my team to go to events. like different things. As soon as I'm done with this, probably in about 10 minutes. Why don't you guys put your sneakers on? Throw your sneakers on. So I'm not taking that money. I could have taken that $300,000, right? And bought a house, right? I could go buy a house, but I don't want to buy a house. I want to buy a $10 million company, right? Does that make sense? Like, I want to buy a $10 million company. Can you go get your sneakers on? I just said 10 minutes. Get your sneakers on. Are they over there? My kids are starting to get antsy. So I want to buy a $10 million company, not a house. Like, I don't want that yet. Like, I'll stay in my little modest house for now. I'll keep doing those things because I really see me having all of that in the future, but I'm not in a hurry to get the new house. I'm not in a hurry to get the Lamborghini. I'm in a hurry to get the 10, 20, $30 million company. Does that make sense? So I've reinvested in me. I've reinvested up here. And I think honestly, that's why I mean, 4 years to have a 7-figure company. And in 4 years, we've collected over $2 million in cash. And I don't think it's a coincidence that I've reinvested $300K in a year. I reinvested $300K of that in my company this past year. I don't think that's a coincidence, right? So could I have taken that $300K and put it in my payroll? And then I would have taken home $500K this year. And how much of that would I have paid in taxes? Also, by the way, because I live in New York State. That would be hilarious. 50% of that would have gone to taxes, right? So I also have to be smart. I can't find much. You guys can't find any of your sneakers. I can. Okay, so all right, then go downstairs and I'll help you guys find them in a little bit. I'm not done. Get a stamp and then go downstairs. So, other things I wanted to talk about. Where'd that? Shoot. All of the ringing, all the kids, I got so distracted. Let's see. I think Brianna told me that, let's pull this up. Let's see. Okay, total payroll. So this includes my payroll as well, was 341,000. So that's payroll, taxes, and that includes my payroll. I said 119. So that includes Allie, Alexis, and Brianna. And then we have a few, we've had some turnover besides that. So we have Tiffany Ware here on our team, and then we have Kyle right now on payroll. And those are the only 2 people on payroll that we have right now. And before that, we had Angel, and Angel, she just moved on. She decided to do something on her own. And so we've had a little bit of turnover besides that. And Allie, Alexis are on their salaried team members, and they also get commission. All of my team members get some level of commission for sales. So that includes their commissions as well. As of now, looking at our profit, and I don't know if this number is accurate, I have to look. As of now, our profit, I cannot tell you if this number is accurate as it stands right now. Where is it? Shoot, I lost that sheet that I just had up. Let's see. Okay. As of now, our net profit is about 100K. I don't know if that number is 100% accurate. honestly, I wish it was less. I'm going to be completely honest. It makes me really nervous. Because that means I'm going to owe a lot of money in taxes. So, so it makes sense, honestly. Living in New York State, here's the deal. It's not necessarily, if I was getting my business ready to sell, would I want that number to be bigger? Yes. Since I'm not getting ready for my business to sell, I want that number to be less because I live in New York State and I get taxed at a corporate level and I get taxed at a personal sales tax level. And so my taxes are insane. I will probably have to pay 50% of that to taxes. So my tax bills are fucking stupid. They're stupid. So I was going to call my tax guy today and see what he has, because this is our numbers. So I was going to see what he has as my tax number and see what his profit looks like for us. But it's about 10%, which is where I try to stay. I don't want to be any higher because I will die of a broken tax bill. I will die of a broken tax heart. Yeah, I need to get out of New York State just for tax purposes. If I wasn't so committed to our community, I would be out of here for tax reasons. It is awful. Everyone thinks oh, just be a corporation. No. What happens is we get taxed at a corporate level and then a personal level. It's really awful. Yeah. Kim, don't let it freak you out. You just have to plan for it. And so I've been paying all along. But every year I make more money. It's I think that I'm going to be okay. And then it's oh, great. Oh, great. I'm going to owe more than I owed last year. Last year was the best I did. And I only owed 18,000. And that was the best year I've ever had. That was the least amount I've ever owed. So I just have to pay every year. I don't know. So, yeah, it's stressful, but it's part of the process now. And I used to let it hold me up a lot. And now I'm just it's okay, make more money. Part of my tax plan this year was to put my husband on our payroll. I'm going to put my kids on payroll this next year. Cause that'll help. That'll give me a tax break. I just got to keep doing the right things and keep putting people on my payroll. Right? Do I just save through the year? I have to pay estimated taxes. So I pay my estimated quarterly taxes. So that's one thing I do. And then I do plan for it. Yeah. So you could pay your quarterly estimates. That's one thing that you should do. And then, yeah, you should save for it as well. So if you have somebody doing your books, you could see, yeah, so other investments, that's pretty much the other investments that I make are I'm going to go to FHL. I guess I'll go to Diamond Day this year. I guess I'll keep learning. I live a good life because I spend my money. I'm it's okay. Let's fly first class. Those are my investments. I try not to spend frivolously, but I invest in myself. It's okay. Let's put money into marketing. You may be able to buy Twitter for a fraction of the price. So that's yeah. There's ways of investing, right? I'll tell you guys one thing, don't listen to me. I'll never put my money into a 401k. I think that is the dumbest way of I will not be putting my money into a 401k. Like I'll invest in stocks on my own, but I'm not going to be like, here, hope this works out. Like, because that's like, that's not a smart investment plan, in my opinion. Let's put it this way. As an entrepreneur, please show me the 401k that you can, what have I been able to do in the last 4 years? In the last 4 years, I have taken a company that my first year I did $250,000 in my coaching company. I've quadrupled that money, cash. Show me that 401k real quick. Right? I'm going to bet on myself every single day. And so I've been able to quadruple my investment in me. And so I just keep investing in me. And that has been my best stock option so far. So I'm not looking at some retirement plan. But I plan on getting into more, how do I invest in you? Well, there's the Moneymaker Mastermind. Learn how to make money, you guys. That's the best investment you can ever make. Learn how to make money. No, I won't even do a self-directed plan. Because you can't make money on stocks the way, like, there's until you're in a position where I have not found myself in a position yet where I have so much money that I need to find a place to put it. This was probably the first year that I have so much money that I have to find a place to put it for tax-free dollars. This is probably the first year. And so next year I maybe need to find a place to put my money for tax-free dollars. So probably need to do better tax planning next year, because this year I didn't do the best with tax planning, clearly. Because I'm looking at my P&L right now thinking like, shit. Right? But could I go spend some money right now? It's the 28th. Could I go pay off something? Right? Like I could pay right now, I could go pay off one of the masterminds I'm in, right? And I could be like, here, you take my money. And then I could say, oh, great, I just decreased my tax liability. So I technically could do that. Do I want to decrease my capital and my cash balance that much? Is it worth it? I like to have cash on hand. So, and I won't take advice. Here's the other thing. That's the other thing I'll tell you. I will not take advice from any kind of financial planner that doesn't make more money than I do. It's like, if you don't make more money than me, I am not taking no advice from you. From a financial planner standpoint, there's a lot of people I will take advice from that make less money than me. That is not a blanket statement. If you are better at Instagram than me and you don't make as much money than me, I don't care. If you are the freaking Instagram guru, I don't care. Like, you give me, I will listen to you all day long. I don't care how much money you've made. If you know everything about Instagram, I am here to soak up all of your knowledge. Doesn't matter, right? But if you're a financial planner and you have made a quarter of what I've made in my life, how are you going to tell me what to do with the millions of dollars that my company is making? Right? So, did this help? Was this like good for you guys? Kind of fun? Breaking down some stuff, airing out my dirty laundry. So, I think biggest takeaways, just because you make $1 million in a company doesn't mean I'm bringing home $1 million. Anyone who is there's something wrong with their business model. Like, I don't know how they're doing that. There is no 100% profit margin company. So whatever. We have really healthy profit margins. The fact that I am bringing home 200K plus we have 10% of a profit margin still, I think that's pretty healthy. And it's where I want them, right? It's not to say they couldn't be more if I wanted them more, but we're in a growing phase right now, and I want to keep investing in our company. I want to put money into growth and learning. I want to reinvest in order to grow. And we're very, very, being in New York State, we're like 10% is healthy. Tell 10%, I don't want more than 10%. Because I don't want to just pay it to the taxes right now. If I was getting my company ready to sell, sure. I'd want it to be more. I'd want it to look sexier for somebody, but I'm not even considering that. I'm just beginning. I'm just getting started. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys had a good time. I gotta get going. We have to go to a birthday party. And thank you guys for jumping on early today. And I'll see you guys next week. We have something exciting happening next week, right? Something exciting. What's next week? We have New Year's. Oh, you know what I think we're doing? I don't know. I can't tell you. Hold on. Yeah, I think we have a new boot camp that's going to start next week. So we're going to probably open the doors for boot camp next week. We're going to do a boot camp promo. So if you've been trying to get into boot camp or you want to restart boot camp, we're going to be opening the doors for that. If you don't know what boot camp is, come hang out next week. 1 p.m. Eastern Standard on Wednesdays. Throw it in your calendar. It's the same link you joined this week. Make sure you get registered for our Moneymaker meetings that happen every Wednesday at 1. This was just a weird week because we're on Christmas break and we have a birthday party today. So I'll talk to you guys later. Mwah! Everyone have a great day.